Hello, in this video we're going to be looking at two of the best action cameras on the market in 2025. The GoPro Hero 13 and the new Insta360 Go Ultra. We're going to be looking at both of these cameras in detail, comparing the specs, and at the end I'll let you know which one I think is best. But first, a little bit about me. I go cycling and bikepacking all over the world, and I make cinematic bikepacking adventure films for YouTube. So naturally, I'm exposed to a lot of filming equipment when I go out on these adventures and make these films, so I'm well placed to give you my thoughts on which of these cameras is best. Let's first start with portability. We'll start with the GoPro. This is by no means a big camera. It's stayed pretty much the same size for the past however many generations now, and it is a good size for what it does. I personally like to leave these GoPros mounted on the handlebars or use a chest mount. Because of their size, it is a little bit awkward having it on your helmet or on your hat when you're doing POV footage. Just simply a little bit too heavy for that. However, looking at the Ultra, this is much smaller. You can actually remove the camera from the body, leaving just this ever so tiny camera, which only weighs 53 grams. So it's ideal for POV footage on your helmet or on your hat, for example, because it's not bulky. It's also really good for attaching in hard to reach places on the bike, or if you're wanting to be a little bit more discreet, maybe do some body cam footage, then this should be your preferred option for that. Next, moving on to something that is very important, the video quality and the resolution. We're going to start with the Ultra on this. This shoots in 4K up to 60 frames per second, which has been pretty standard across most action cameras for a while now. That's kind of what you need for it to be a good action camera, because it does a wide range of things, and for most people that is absolutely fine. This has definitely improved in quality versus the Go 3S, which was kind of the previous iteration of the Go series, which only shot 4K up to 30 frames per second and not quite as good quality. So from a quality point of view, this is absolutely fine. I'll talk more about the sensor size and the stabilization across both of these cameras in a second, but straight out of the box, the footage on this is pretty good for its size. What about the GoPro? This has the Insta360 Ultra beat in terms of resolution. It shoots 5.3K up to 60 frames per second, which is crazy. And to give you an idea of how much more detail that is, here's a diagram to show you. Now, resolution isn't everything, as we know, but by having a higher resolution, you can crop into the footage and still have it look really good, which is ideal if you've not quite mounted it correctly and you've got your thumb sticking out on the handlebar or something like that. It just means you can zoom in and still keep the quality. Not only that, but the GoPro shoots 4K 120 frames per second for some really slow-mo stuff, which is really cool, and 2.7K up to 240 frames per second for ultra slow-mo stuff. Now, granted, you're probably not going to use that a lot, but it's nice to know that the camera has that capability. Moving on to stabilization. Both of these cameras have excellent stabilization. I'm riding here on a really rough and bumpy farm track, and both of these cameras handle it perfectly. And if I had to nitpick, I would say the GoPro's is just marginally better and less bouncy than the Insta360s, but they are both excellent. What about low light performance? Typically the Achilles heel of most action cameras, usually because they have a tiny sensor size. However, we are starting to see sensor sizes increasing, and the software is also getting better in these cameras, meaning they are more capable at dealing with the low light. Let's look at the GoPro. This is pretty decent in low light. It has just over a 1/2 inch sensor, meaning it's okay, and the software in it is pretty good when it is in low light to actually compensate for that small sensor size. I can definitely see that GoPros are getting better at the low light performance. I've had many in the past, and in the past they were just completely unusable if it was anything other than bright sunshine. But now you can actually use them in the dusk or early in the morning and get some reasonable footage out of it. What about the Ultra? Well, this actually has a bigger sensor than the GoPro. It has a 1/1.28 inch sensor, which is really impressive for the size of the camera. And as a result, it does have very good low light performance. I would say marginally better than the GoPros. I do have a sneaking suspicion that the software on the GoPro is doing a better job than on the Insta360, actually compensating for the sensor size, which is why I think it does look pretty good on the GoPro, even though it has a smaller sensor versus this, but it is still really good. Both of these cameras have really good HDR modes in them though as well, so if you are riding in some mixed conditions, either dappled shade or very early mornings with the sunrise and kind of dark shadows on the ground, then that HDR mode is a really good way of evening those out. Let's look at the battery life of these cameras. The battery life of the Ultra depends on whether you've got the camera out of the charging pod or actually in it. If you are just shooting with the camera by itself, that has a life of 70 minutes before it dies, and if you plug it onto the pod, you've actually got 200 minutes there until it's completely flat. Now again, that's best case scenario. In real world, it might be slightly different. The GoPro though will shoot continuously for up to 2.5 hours before that runs out of battery. And for most of us, that's not what we're going to be using the camera for. So it will likely last you several days if you're out bikepacking and just doing the odd shot here and there. Historically, the GoPros have struggled with cold conditions. I know personally, when I've taken my bike into the really cold conditions bikepacking, the camera has really struggled with the battery life. But the new Enduro batteries on these are significantly better. What about charging times? Because there is a massive discrepancy between these two cameras, surprisingly. The GoPro takes anywhere from 2 to 4 hours from 0% to 100, which is reasonably long, but the Go Ultra can be as quick as 20 minutes from 0 to 100, which is really impressive. Now for many of us, it's not the most important thing, but if you're the sort of person like me who has an idea and quickly wants to go out and film something and hasn't charged your camera, then I'd be turning to this one because of how quickly it does so. So what's my verdict here? Both of these cameras are really impressive and they are ever so slightly different in what they offer. However, I've come up with a bottom line for those of you who are on the fence. If you're going on some round the world bikepacking trips into some really rugged terrain and you want something that's reliable, that you're just going to stick on your bike and not really take off very much, I would go for the GoPro. It has got really good battery life, it is very robust. GoPros historically have always been really tough and this one appears to be that way as well. It does have a really good high resolution, so you are going to capture things in excellent quality and it will likely last you a very long time. I really like how this has a removable battery as well, so if you do have a spare, it means you can keep shooting for a really long time. If you're the sort of person who goes on short cycling or bikepacking trips, maybe 2 to 5 days for example, and you want to make really good creative content for Instagram or YouTube, I would go for the Ultra. Because it's a small camera, you can pretty much mount it anywhere on the bike. It gives you more versatility as well. It does shoot reasonably high quality footage as well. Not quite as good as the GoPro, I'll give you, but because of its size, you can do a lot more with it. And if you put your mind to it, you can create some really interesting shots for your YouTube or Instagram videos, which is going to engage your audience because of its unique size. Bottom line here, if you're the sort of person who just wants the absolute best quality and rugged performance when you're out bikepacking, for example, I would go for the GoPro. If you're wanting more flexibility and creative options with still reasonably good quality, I would go for the Ultra. So that's it, that's my comparison of these two action cameras. Let me know which one you think is best and why in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Do you have any other recommendations, perhaps another action camera that I should have talked about? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.